Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Shagalinko TV. My name is Ambassador Emmanuel Gabari, and it's good to be here with all of you. For those of you who will be joining us later, just to say that we're streaming live on YouTube and also on Facebook, and you can drop your comments. Better questions for our guest and all of that, and she'll be responding to them. So today we're looking at young people and migration, what's really happening all across the world. You just find people and countries and governments complaining about youth migration, not just young people now, but everyone. There's brain drain in terms of different professions. Even in Nigeria here, there's a lot of brain drain when it comes to doctors. They are moving en masse out of Nigeria and all of that. So we're looking today at young people migrating to other countries. Why is it happening? Is it for greener pastures and all of that? I have my guest all the way from Bulgaria, Asia Eraidi. She's an international relations student and also sales development representative. She'll be throwing more light on this and a whole lot more. Asia is not a newcomer here. She's been on our show several times, and it's good to have you again. Hi.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here again, to talk to you again and discuss another topic. And as always, it's always nice to exchange with you and to discuss very, very interesting topics. So, yes, as you said, I'm Asia Eraidi. I came all along from Bulgaria. I'm very new here. And myself, I'm an immigrant in this country and born to parents who were immigrants in Italy. So I have a long story with this topic. I'll be very happy today to discuss this topic because it has a lot to do with my life. I'll not just talk about it from an objective way of thinking, but I can tell also my story, my parents' story, and a lot of stories of people that can see us today. So immigration, I wanted to talk about immigration because I found myself in a different country. It's been now 6 months, a different life, different perspective, and a different me as well, because as long as someone immigrates, meaning that he will start from zero in another country. And so that's why I want to speak about this topic. I was thinking why other people immigrate like me. So I have my own reasons, but I was asking myself, are others immigrating because of the same reasons I am immigrating, or are other generations immigrating for the same reason? So I would like to discuss and go in details through this with you today.
Much, Asia, and it's really good to have you. I must say you're looking calmer now, unlike when you were in school that you were stressed and having to come from another country to the country of studies. So what's the secret?
Yes. Actually, a lot of people will notice this, but it's like I've been in Italy. I was born from Moroccan parents, and I've been going along to a lot of countries until I found this country where you can feel that you belong to. I've been here in Bulgaria just for a holiday once, and I came back here because I really feel like in this country I can be myself. I can feel like I'm home, even if I don't belong to this country. So in a way or in another, I succeed to have my own house, my own friends, my own lifestyle here, and to build my new life from zero without no one putting pressure on you, without no neighbors putting pressure on you, or people you already know from the past judging or putting pressure. So I came here to really build myself from zero as I dreamed of, and I think step by step maybe I'm reaching the goals I had in mind. That's why. So the secret, I guess, of beauty is happiness.
Oh, that's good. So we're beginning to get messages, and this is also to say that if you're watching us right now, do let us know where you're watching from. Drop your comments in the comment section. Sabi Abi, thank you so much. You did thumbs up. Please do let us know where you're watching, Sabi Abi. And for all of you watching as well, our topic for today is youth and migration. Why are people leaving their country, their home country, to other countries? Is it for greener pastures? Is it for education? Is it for economic reasons? We'd like to know. We have Asia Iraide all the way from Bulgaria, and she will be talking to us more about youth and migration and what are the reasons why this is happening. You really can't stop people from moving, you really can't, because everyone is looking for something, somehow to better their lives or build their capacities and all of that. So you really can't stop that. So let me come back to you, Asia. So how was it like being in school and then finishing school and having to take that huge decision to move from another country, from your home country, in pursuit of education, and then you had to, after completion of education, you now had to move to Bulgaria. How was it like for you?
It was very quick. Actually, people will think that it took me months and months to think about this. But once I got a job offer, it took me about 3 days to decide and to say yes, and other 5 days to move here. So in total, it was about like 1 week. I was already here with my big luggage, with a lot of hopes, a lot of dreams, and I was so happy and excited. A lot of people may say I was very impulsive in taking this decision, but I just really felt that I had to leave Italy, even if maybe it may sound weird. I left Milan, I left Italy, a very big a city with a lot of opportunities, to a smaller city in a smaller country. But it's really about also mental health, where when you don't feel good in a certain city, in a certain place, you really have to be sometimes brave and take this step and just leave, and maybe you can build yourself from zero in another place. And that's what I did. But I actually feel like I'm maybe more lucky than other people who would like to do the same step. I came from Italy, as I said, even if from immigrants, from parents that are immigrants. I had a passport that helped me to move easily and to take the decision in 7 days. I know a lot of young people would like to do the same step I did and I want to do. But the passport doesn't help. There are countries that don't help, and they find themselves doing this step that I've done, but in a very difficult way. So in this topic, I want to split the young in two categories. There are European youngsters. There are people who came from developed countries, and there are people who came from third world countries. And immigration for those two kind of people is not the same. They don't have the same conditions. They don't have the same opportunities. They don't have the same facilities to do so. A European young person who choose to immigrate just because they have a gap year, or just because they want to go on an Erasmus for a few months, or just because they want to travel the world and see 30 cities in 2 months. While for people that are coming from other countries, it's not that easy, because they may run from wars, they may run from a very high rate of unemployment, they may run a lot of political problems, and social problems. So I cannot I can I cannot compare myself as a youngster who lived her country to someone maybe coming from other countries. Let's speak about Syria, about Iraq, about also Nigeria, Somalia, a lot of countries where people, they're forced to live, even with their master degrees, with their PhDs, they are forced to live because they have no other choice.
Yeah, I totally understand, So let's even also look at why are people looking for building their capacities, looking because if you also check the number of people who migrate, some do that via education. So they say they want to either do their masters
Mm-hmm.
or their postgraduate or their
Yes.
BSc and all of that. Is it truly because they want to do that or because they see it as a window opportunity? Like you said, some countries it might not be easy for them to migrate to another country, so they see educational pursuits as the only leeway they can use in getting into those countries.
Yes, yes, they're high value people. They're people who can add a very high value to their country, but they don't find the right opportunities. They cannot develop themselves in their country. So another country comes and may give them a scholarship, may give them a lot of facilities, may make their life easy so they can concentrate only on their studies or only on developing their skills and capacities. So if you take the same person, you put it first in one non-developed country, maybe, and you take it to another country, it will give much more than he can do, because he will be focusing just on his own self, on his own life and own capacities. No pressure, no political problems, no social problems, nothing distracting him from giving the best of what he can give. It's like the example of, it's been so popular and trending, this metaphor of the bottle of water that maybe in a supermarket could cost 10 cents, in another place could cost, for example, $1, but in airport it could go up to $10. So the water is water, but then depending on the place where we are selling it, the value is higher. So same for young people. They're very smart. They have a lot of skills, but their true value shows when they are in the right country. That's why people immigrate.
Mm. Okay, so let's look at it from another angle because I'm happy I'm having you on the show today. I know we would have had these discussions long while ago, but you had exams and you had to move as well. Let's also look at the negative side of it all because sometimes people might not just be as lucky as you are, and I'm happy you also acknowledged that fact. So people see others who've been able to migrate, either change school and change occupation, and they think it's also that easy. I like the fact that you categorized people from different countries to know that there are some countries that it might not just be very easy or smooth to migrate from your country to another country. So, what are some of the negative aspects of migration that young people might just see that it's rosy from the paper front, and when they get into that country, they start to deal with racism, they start to deal with all kinds of things. They also tell you that you're not white, you start feeling a bit of it and all of that. So, what are some of the things people who are listening to us right now should also prepare their minds not to get things like cultural shock, where they get in and then they realize that, oh, it really wasn't as expected?
Mhm. Yes, actually, personally, from in a lot of experience, I want to start, or before even starting them, what I do is I put no expectations, because when you put high expectations, you may be very disappointed. So when I came here, I was thinking by myself. I was saying, okay, it's a new beginning, it's a new chance. Let's see, but no expectations. Whatever comes, let's find, let's take it like a challenge. Most important thing is to come with a very open mind. You may have a cultural shock for sure, but what you have to do, maybe know about the background and the history of the country where you are going. Know the culture, the tradition, the things to do and the things to not do, because you're going to a different country. You are a guest. The first years, the first months, you're a guest, so you should respect their culture. You should respect the way they deal with things. So, for example, the first month, first year, just watch and respect and learn. and then you can start acting, and then you will integrate. I'm not saying there is no negative sides. Of course, you will be far from your family, from your friends, from your culture, from your food, just daily things. You'll be very far from a lot of things. You may face racism. Yes, thanks God I didn't face racism in Bulgaria. I discovered it's a really, really nice country with really nice people, very open-minded as well. um, but this racism, I faced it in Italy. I know my parents faced it in Italy, and it wasn't easy. So in this case, we don't have to close ourselves in a bubble, but we have to be always in communication with nice people. You will always find nice people and bad people. So just be open-minded, know about the culture, and just respect, so you can be respected as well.
Well said. Before I go on to ask the next question, I'd like you to read this message on the screen. If you can see it, you can read and then respond to it.
Yes, it's from Ioana. Ioana. So this is Cyrillic alphabet. It's actually the Bulgarian alphabet, and it is the same alphabet that Russians were inspired from. So Bulgarians are very proud because they're the ones who invented it, and I'm also very proud because I'm now part of Bulgaria. So she said, most important is to take the knowledge and experience given to you and not forget your roots. So one day you invest in your home country and future society. Yes, that's true. That's true. And she and with this comment, she put light on a very important topic: is that when we immigrate from our country loses one value, one person that could add a lot to the society. It's like we are running away from problems, and we are going to a place where we will feel better, and we'll live in our country as it is. So who will be developing and working on the future of this country? Of course, I'm thinking constantly about this. So what young people should do after immigration: live their experience, learn the different culture, but not forget the roots. As Joanna was saying, it is hard to keep your culture inside another country. It is hard to have your traditions. It is hard to combine two traditions, because I came from an Italian country, but also Moroccan family. I succeeded to combine the two. Now I'm adding one other culture, and I'm trying to add the three of them in order to have a balance, in order to be someone who will bring back to my country something new. Maybe I will bring something about the Bulgarian culture. Maybe I can teach a lot of people about what I've learned in Bulgaria. So of course, one day I may go back to my country and bring what I've learned to my country to help in development.
Okay. So let's even look at the government. You are a young person, you've gathered experience, you've seen things from different sides. Like they always say in life, that it's not just enough to stay in one place forever. You're not seeing the other side of life. So you've seen from this side, you've seen from the other side. As a young person, what advice can you give countries and their governments? Because there seems to be something that a country might not be doing right, that a B country is doing right, and that's what is attracting people from A country to B country. There might be something that C country could just be doing better, that might be attracting people from both the A and the B country to C country. So what can you give as an advice to governments generally of different countries that they can do better, so also to reduce the pressure? Because
Uh,
some people have the genuine interest of staying back, but some people are pressured to also leave because their friends or families are also migrating.
yes. So actually, the government, as I said, I always say that when you want to develop a country, you have to work on education. So if they want those young people to not leave, first of all, they should provide them a high quality education, political and social stability, Am I audible? Okay, as I said, so in order, the governments, what they should do is provide high quality education. The governments should also provide the context where those people will grow, where they will give the best of what they have. So they should have a political stability, a social stability, so they can do their best, as well as when people grow, they are in the time where they get their degrees, they should find jobs available. So government should really fight unemployment and give more chances to young people. And remember, we've been talking about young people and old people and the different and the gap between the generations. Remember the first time we've had this discussion. So this is the
Yeah,
same
yeah,
discussion, is the same thing. Old people should give, older generation should give the chance to young people to prove themselves. Why I immigrated? There was two big reasons. First of all, when I was looking for a job, they would offer me unpaid internships, and this is what makes us crazy. A lot of people would leave their countries just because of this word, unpaid internships. You want to do some volunteering. Even the UN itself, they have a lot of opportunities. There are job opportunities, but they call them volunteering. So you would spend 6 months, 1 year in a very expensive European capital, spending a lot of money and a lot of time, and at the end they will just use you and not give you a contract to work after that. So this is sad. This is demotivating. You feel like, what am I doing here? While other countries are looking for skills like me, they would give me high salary. They would give me, they would give me a lot of opportunities. Where I'm staying right now, the maximum they can offer me is an unpaid internship. So this was really the point that made me leave Italy and go to Bulgaria. It's because in one country they were like, okay, I would offer you an unpaid internship, but I don't know, maybe yes, and they would not pay for your food, they would not pay for your transportation. While in another country, they're telling you, please, you're speaking 5 languages, please come work with us. We really like you, we really love you, and you will feel like you're important here. So, of course, I will choose another country. Why would I stay somewhere where I will not feel good? This is what happens to all young people. They would find a way or another just to leave the country that doesn't give them value. So old people, please give the chances to young people, and please let's stop these unpaid internships things, because we also have our needs and our responsibilities. And for governments, work hard on ministries of youth, because in a lot of countries the Ministry of Youth and Sport or culture, it's a secondary ministry. It's not important. It's not one of the, like, not the Ministry of Economy or the Ministry of External Affairs. No, Ministry of Youth, for them it's always secondary, while it shouldn't be.
true, true. So let's even come to your talent, because you've just said it. I know people who are talented like you, doing great things in their countries, but they hardly are appreciated, and frustration can easily set in. Someone takes out time to empower themselves. It's not easy learning even your language, your mother tongue, like we call it in Nigeria. It's not easy learning your own language, not to talk of learning. And I must say, you are really blessed. So, how do we begin to also tell other young people who have good skills, like ICT, young people who could write good CVs or who could write good proposals that NGOs are looking? Some of these young people take up unpaid volunteering jobs, and they do so perfectly well in such organizations. I would expect that such organizations would also in turn say, okay, you know what, we started out as being unpaid, but we've seen what you've by doing XYZ. We can't give you all. That could even have motivated them, but it makes them look used and dumped, And it's just for the papers or for experience. But then, like you said, bills have to be paid. These people have to pay transport to come. They have to do research. Anywhere you work, whether unpaid or paid, every time you are given a task, you have to go on the internet to read more, to think about how you can solve such problems. So, what would be your word of advice to young people but may not have an opportunity to go to where they will be appreciated or paid?
I think there is a lot of cases. Let's see, you're a young person and you're on your first years of college and you have an online internship that you can give some time to it, part-time. In this case, when you think you're really gonna learn from this internship, maybe you can start by doing it. But when you have your degree or you have enough experience and you can prove that you can have enough experience, you cannot accept to be an employee that will not be paid, So it depends a lot on the cases. If you know that from this internship they will educate you, it will be like a free education course in practical life. You don't have a lot of expenses. You can do it online, then yes. But if you're an added value, if you're an employee that will not be paid, then no, because this is not worth it. And you can find a lot of places that will know your true value and give you a proper salary to do that.
So we got another message here. Amebayo is from Nigeria and he's watching us. So could you read his message and maybe provide a solution or respond to it?
Sure. Some of them think that their country does not give them the opportunity to thrive in their various business and ideas. Sure, yes. Some countries, they're very close-minded and narrow-minded about young people. They think that young people cannot do business, they cannot do, we're not productive, we cannot do anything, we are lazy. This is the idea that some generations have about us in some countries. While other countries, for example, let's talk about the USA. I was trying to create a startup. When I was speaking with investors in Italy, they would make fun of me. Oh, you're a sweet young girl, you're cute, so yes, maybe we will invest. But they were just making fun of me in a lot of occasions. While when I was talking to other people from other countries, they would encourage me, maybe try to help me to find investors. This mentality, I found it more maybe in India, I found it more in the USA, and a lot of other countries where people are open-minded, they believe in you, they give you the chance, and they tell you, okay, I believe in you, you can do it. You have maybe more technological skills, you're better than me in IT, you are better than me in this, so yes, you can do it. And they would invest in you and see that you really can bring something on the table. So as a close friend to me said once, we do not want to be always in the menu, but we want to be part of the table, because we don't want to be part of these policies and people think in our place and take decision in our place, but we want to be in a country where we can be the decision maker.
It's a very great one. I like that we might not want to be on the menu. The table is even more important, because the table is the kitchen where every menu is being cooked, redone and all of that. So I think I like that quote. I will keep it up, keep it somewhere and use it sometime. It's ringing a bell in my ear. Now let's even look at young girls. Sometimes we talk about migration, we don't also understand that there are issues that the male folks will face, that the young girls are even that a young guy might get away with a lot of things. He could easily just get up and start going. He gets a new job, he could just pick up his bag and leave. but a girl or a young woman will first think about herself, the hygiene of that area she's going to. One aspect people don't really talk about is menstrual cycle of young girls and even workers. How many organizations will also let you, when you have time and do all of that? Some countries might tell you every hour counts. They don't
Mm.
care how you feel and all of that. So, what are the challenges that young women also face in terms of migration? Take, for instance, the Ukraine and the Russian war that has been happening. Sometimes when I watch TV, the first thing that comes to my mind is, oh God, how will the young girls feel? What if they are get sanitary towels? Where would they get water to take care of themselves? Nobody's looking at all of that. How would they even buy sanitary pads? Because there's
Mm.
war and shops might be locked. They may not be in a place where they could lay their hands on money. These are things that people also don't talk about. So, as a young woman, what do you think about issues like this that they don't talk about?
Yes, I think when you come to the point that you have to leave, and a lot of when you have those thoughts, first of all, you have your family being worried about you. You have to think about if this place it is safe for a girl, if you can walk around by night, if you can do your daily things, and you will be safe. First of all, this is the most important thing a girl would think about, and you have to do your researches before immigrating to a place. So yes, before coming here I knew that this was a safe country. There is no issue in going around and everything, but still you may think about other girls that took a decision that was not really their choice. Maybe they were forced to leave their country to immigrate to another country, and it is really really hard because we still live in a country where it is the vision of the man that matters, and it is the vision of the man that is popular. So not a lot of girls say and speak up about the daily issues, even what may look like a small detail, but it is not a small detail for us. It is very important. So I think with immigrating and leaving your country and your comfort zone, you become a man. You have this strength that a man could have, and you have this power that a man could have. And as I was always saying to my friends, sometimes you don't find the man of your dreams, but you become the man of your dreams. So you immigrate, you become strong, you do your things, you go to grocery, you are sick, you take care of yourself, you're not afraid by night or by day, you pay your bills. So yes, you become, that man. So this is it. So at the end of the day, that's what we do to kind of survive in this society. Yes.
So, brings me to something else that I would love to ask. How do people cope with missing families? And like you said in the opening, that it's not just shock when you get to another country, but something as little as food. You barely can now find the food you used to in your country. Cope with families. I know the internet or has made things. Technology has made things easier now. People could do WhatsApp calls. There's still where this physical contact plays a role, where you see your parent one on one and all of that. How do people who migrate merge up all of this so as well?
I think you become strong emotionally. You should be strong emotionally. Otherwise, you will be, crying every time. So this happened to me when we had a religious celebration where every family do a family gathering. They go out together. They have dinner together. And I wasn't there, so I cried a little bit. But that is normal. When you miss your family, this is what you do. You have to deal with that because you have to be responsible of your own decision. I took a decision. I should be responsible. I should face the consequences of the decision I took. So if I decided to be far from of my family, then I should be, an adult, and act like an adult. But I think the the solution to this is to find a family here, to create your own family.
Mm,
I
mm,
made very strong friendships here. I have now very close friends. I have also a Moroccan community and an Italian community I belong to. So this makes you feel like you're home. Uh, Also, always go back to your roots. You will be always creating this family ambience atmosphere in your house. So also social media and WhatsApp made it easier. So your family becomes an online family, a virtual family. Your friends become a virtual friendship, but you still want to create yourself. I still believe I'm a young woman who should have her own family, who should have her own friends and her own circles. And then a flight could solve the problem with my parents and family.
true, true, true. So yeah, it's the 16 days of activism. Into these, are there gender-based violence issues that people are not talking about as they migrate? Because we also hear in places where um, immigration officers take advantage of some could be molested in the camps and all of that, and some could be sexually harassed. Are there some of these issues that maybe victims or survivors are not talking about, just so they are able to stay back and get their papers for fear of being victimized and all of that? Do you think there are things? I don't want to just limit it to females. There might be male folks who are also being molested and all of that. So, are there things as people migrate from one country to another that they are exposed to? It might be sexual, it might be physical, and all of that. What do you think?
I think it all depends on the type of immigration you're doing. You know, if you're coming with a strong passport, you're coming from a strong country, they may respect you more. And this is a very sad reality. When you come from a third world country, you're coming maybe immigrating in an illegal way or even in a legal way. You're just different culturally. Your skin color is different. You may face a lot of violence. And the biggest proof was what was happening a few weeks ago in Italy with the ship of immigrants that arrived to Italy that caused a big diplomatic issue between Italy and France. So in this case, they are objectifying people who are immigrating. They're no more uh, people who are respected because they're human beings, but they are like a game for politicians, a game of diplomacy, and a game between countries. And this is a very sad reality. No one really shows and focuses on how much violence people can face. I met an immigrant once. She came from an African country all along from Libya, and then from Libya to Italy. If you see her body, it was filled of it was really hard to look at her because she really faced a very hard experience until she came to Italy, and then still in Italy she may face a lot of systematic racism because if the violence is not physical, it may be psychological, which is even worse in some cases. So I think we should really speak up for not only women but for all immigrants that are facing a very hard time in those camps or when they arrive to the destination of their dreams maybe and hopes.
Okay, so as we wrap up now, I know I'll also find time to bring you again for a part two. There's so much to talk about every time you are with me on this show, and that the time doesn't let us to. But one very key thing I'd also like you to address as we wrap up now is young persons that are living with disabilities. Sometimes we also don't talk about that. Everyone is just enmeshed with the problem of migration and don't also talk about that there are categories of people as we have categories of women, like you said, those coming from very strong countries, those coming from third world countries. We also don't look at people, young people and who might not, they might have the intelligence to take up some jobs, but because of they're living with disabilities, they get displaced. People already, organizations already even say they are disabled, they don't even want to give them that opportunity. Very few organizations, like very international organizations, are making sure that is inclusive. So you have people from all stratas and all of that. In your work, in your field work, I'm sure you must have seen a couple of people living with disabilities. What are some of the challenges, particularly for young people, and how do you think we as people can go about it, government as a people can go about it, and then particularly organizations where they make sure there is inclusion, maybe keep a couple of opportunities and say, you know what, XYZ number for young women, XYZ number for young people living with disabilities, so to make it an all-inclusive organization.
I think we should start from um, awareness, a lot of campaigns of awareness from the early age, because it's with childhood that we have those ideas stick that a disabled person may be not as intelligent as us. It just because it is not doesn't is not in the standards, like they don't look like us or they're not the normal for us. We do not have to marginalize them. But this is also something that we should work on since we are children. So start from education, be more inclusive in educational books from the primary school. Start slowly, and then we should also stop using those people with disabilities to make a Netflix campaign or to make those campaigns for big brands where we all know that they are just using them to show themselves that they are inclusive while they are not in reality inclusive. So I think a brand, if they want to show themselves and they want to raise awareness about this topic, they should really respect this, and they should really be having people with disabilities inside their organization, not just as models or not just as people wearing their shirts or their brand. So inclusivity nowadays, it's a trend. All people say we are inclusive, but they have to show in fact that they're inclusive, not only in marketing campaigns. And people are really tired of seeing people that are different, that have some marks or these stretch marks or disabilities. We're really tired of seeing those fake marketing campaigns, and we want something to be real. And then this will really go into people's mind, into the society, and it will become a normality. So they will be more included in a lot of organizations and in work. At work we don't have a lot of disabled people, but we have few of them, and they really are good, and the atmosphere in which we are working is really a very open-minded one. So no one is really different from the other, so everyone is treated equally. And I think this is the thing that should be in all the organizations.
Thank you so much, Asia. So, as we wrap up now, what will be your final words to everyone? And now I'll bring you back. I really need us to talk about, so when you migrate, how do you now begin to also build your capacity? Because in life, it's constant learning. Just when you think you've had enough, you now see that to earn a higher pay, you need to either go back to school again or do something. For instance, if you were in your home country and you weren't driving, you now migrate to another country, you will see that sometimes you need to drive. You might be working as a nurse at night. You now need to learn that skill. And then to acquire that skill, it will cost you huge money to go to driving school, get a car on loan, learn the roads and all of that. So it's one big problem to another big challenge. And then you get to some organizations, they will tell you, okay, this qualification you got, it's not really the type they actually need. You need to like go back and start afresh. Monies are involved. So we'll bring you back to talk about that. But as we wrap up now, what's your final words to everyone watching?
I think a lot of people should really understand my before and after, how my life really changed with immigration. So for my case, it was something that brought a lot of calm and a lot of uh, peace in my life. So I think if you're really facing some mental issues, problems, if you're having, if you don't feel like you are good in the place you are, if you don't feel like they're giving you the right value you deserve, then take your luggage and immigrate. This is my advice. I'm probably I'm not, this is not the best advice I could give to governments. They will not be happy of hearing this, but really for your own peace, if you really feel like you're not you're not good in that in one place, just be brave and just take your things and go and start from zero until you find yourself.
So, is there anyone you want to greet as usual we do on the show? You get an opportunity to greet support mechanisms, families, friends, colleagues, people who have always been there for you. We just give time on Chagalinku for people to appreciate and celebrate people who have also been at the background supporting them and all of that. So you have now to do all of that as we close up now. Over to you.
Thank you. So I would like to say hi to all my family in Italy and in Morocco. I would like to say hi to my best friend here, Joanna, who is also my family here, and say hi to my sister, who is also here. Say hi to all the Moroccan and Italian community in Bulgaria, and all people who helped me and were here with me and made me feel like I'm home, even if I'm not home. Thank you as well, Emmanuel. It was really nice to be with you again.
Thank you so much, Asia, and thank you for always finding time to join us on the show. So, to everyone, the videos will still be posted after the show. We get a lot of people who watch after the show because of the time difference. So, for our viewers in Philippines, in Canada, and all of that, everyone is really, really friendly. But there's never really going to be a convenient time zone. I remember we had to also do a back and forth with ACI to be sure that we get the time zone that is also convenient for her. But she was like, let's just do it. Don't worry. I'll be awake and all of that. So I really must thank my guest for joining me. I hope we'll just find another time to come back together to talk about creativity and then capacity building and extra qualifications and extra things that involves money when it comes to migrating, because people just look at the aspect of, okay, you now get more money, but then you're also spending more monies, so to say, extra taxations, higher taxations, and then you wish that you were back home where you don't spend as much as that in tax and all of that. I was discussing with a friend in London, and she was like, we pay a lot of tax here in the UK. Sometimes you just want to go back to your country. It's like they are tasking you, they are taking the money three times away from you and all of that. But hey, that's the price you also have to pay for living in a beautiful country where everything works. Anyways, do like all our social media Linko TV, whether on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter. It's at Shagalinko TV. And remember on YouTube to also click on the notification button so that anytime we go live, you could get notified and then join us in the conversation. I want to thank everyone who joined, everyone who sent in messages, and even those who will watch later on. We get a lot of views later on, and people even inbox us to tell us how they feel about our topic of discussion. So please do let us know how and what you think about the topic. And that will also even help us when we bring our guest next, to know the kind of questions we'll be asking her and everyone who's ever been on the show. My name is Ambassador Emmanuel Gabari, and yes, I'm doing this video from the capital city of Nigeria, Abuja. This is where Shagalinko is today. We arrived here today for a couple of conferences and workshops that we'll be doing, and I also will be one of the panelists on a couple of discussions going on if there's a link to that program for tomorrow, I'll share it on the group so that anybody who want to join us will also join. We're looking at disability, people living with disabilities, and what are some of the gender-based violence that they face as persons living with disabilities. I hope it's going to be a very interactive and wonderful session. I'm a bit edgy being one of the panelists. Now I'm being haunted. The hunter is being haunted. Anyway, thanks to everyone who joined us. Till I see you all another time, I remain Ambassador Emmanuel Gabari, urging you to have a beautiful Sunday and have a blissful and wonderful week ahead of you. Thanks to everyone who's been supporting our shows. Let's keep doing this and let's put a smile on the faces of people. God bless you all and good night.